Okay, Houston coach Kelvin Sampson is here. Coach, when you're comfortable, if you could start us off with some general comments about the game.
Well, first of all, congratulations to TJ. His team, they were unbelievable today. They played hard. They played connected. They played, shot the ball extremely well. I don't know what they from the three, especially Silovic. He had some, when we were defending him tough, he still made it. That's what good players do. So hats off to Iowa State. I think for all the teams now, it's just a matter of seeing if you can get as healthy as you can and get ready for the tournament next week. Tomorrow's Selection Sunday. We'll pick ourselves up. We've had a great year. Obviously, 40 minutes is not going to define 3 months, but we'll get some guys treatment and healthy and get back at it and see where they send us tomorrow and be excited about it.
Okay, remember, if you've got a question, raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. Let's go over here on the left.
Kelvin, Blair Kirchhoff with the Kansas City Star.
Hey, Blair.
Hey, how do you anticipate your guys reacting to this?
This is similar to what happened to us at Kansas earlier in the year. Everybody's sign up for this job, coaching and playing basketball. You're gonna have moments like this. I mean, that atmosphere out there was unbelievable. I think that was. I don't remember Hilton being as tough to play as Kansas City. Now, very, very seldom do you play a home game, or a road game rather, in the championship of a tournament. But you know what? Hats off to Iowa State's fans. I think this was a great learning experience for Cincinnati and UCF and Houston and BYU. To see, I've known how great Iowa State's fans are for a long, long time. That's not the first time I've lost to them in the championship game. But you know what? Don't lose sight of how good you got to be to get here. There's 14 teams. There's only 2 teams left. I'm sure people will take their shots at us, and that's okay. Go ahead. But there's a lot of teams would have loved to have been in our spot today playing them. But they're really good. Even when we beat them at our place, I thought they were really good. They stubbed their toe a couple of times, but that's going to happen in this league. So our kids will respond, though, Blair. They've got the right DNA. We've got really good leadership. And we've got great kids. We've battled all year long. I think there's so much good fortune that goes with teams that can stay healthy, and we're struggling with that right now, so we're going to have to figure some things out.
Let's go here on the front row on the left.
Will Kunkel, Fox Houston. Just how did you balance the desire to win and get healthy with Jawan? Just 13 minutes, and I think Jamal rested about 7.5 down the stretch.
Yeah. Having won these a few times, next week is the week, and Iowa State would tell you the same thing. Next week's more important to them than this. But, when you got a chance to play in front of your 15,000 of your fans, you're going to go all out. For us, we would like to have played better today, but they had a lot to do with that. They made us play poorly. We didn't shoot it well. I thought we got a bunch of really good looks, especially Cryer and Shed. They were the 2 shooting most of the balls, but it just wasn't their day. Third game in 3 days, legs, all that kind of stuff, and that's the advantage of having your fans. They lift you, when things aren't going well. But really, really proud of my team this year. We've had an unbelievable year, 30-4. Winning the Big 12, all that stuff is just stuff that we'll hang our hats on. But the injury thing, there's not a lot you can do with it. I got up this morning convinced that we were not going to play Jawan and John Houston said, well, there's no reason why he can't play. It's not anything structural. It's just a bruise. It's like he got hit. And with the medication he was taking, he felt a lot better. He went through a shoot around. He wasn't limping. But as it wore on, this game's not nearly as important as his health. Wasn't Maul's night tonight. So we'll lick our wounds and get back on the horse and get going again. But I can't tell you how impressed I was with Iowa State. Don't think for a minute I'm poor-mouthing us and taking anything away from them. They were great. They're a team that can go a long way. They can get to the Final Four. They're that good.
Let's go over here to the right.
Coach, Sam Lance with Adam Zagori and Zags blog. I'm writing a little story on Jamal Shed this week, and he told me whenever you recruited him, you told him that you had 2 point guards and he was supposed to be the third. What was it about Jamal Shed whenever you recruited him that you knew he was kind of destined to be that?
Talent and leadership. He's a very talented young man, comes from a great family, and you could tell he was used to leading. It was very natural for him. There was a young man I had a few years ago, he's playing for the Rockets now, Nate Hinton. When I recruited him, I said, that kid's going to be our captain one day. He'll be a good captain. And I remember saying that about Shed. I bet you he'll be a good captain one day because he has those traits. Wherever he goes and whatever he does in life, he'll be successful because he's extremely intelligent. He's got great leadership skills, and he comes from really good stock.
Okay, let's go over here on the right, and then we've got another one on the left.
Coach Greg Eklund, AP Broadcast. Regardless of how this game would come out, you had mentioned 30-4 regular season champion. Do you feel that this team has already earned what among the top teams in the country get?
Well, I think anybody that wins this league is going to get is going to earn whatever it gets, whether it was us or somebody else. Iowa State could have easily won this league. We got very fortunate and won some games. I remember 2 or 3 games that went in overtime that, we just kind of gutted it out and found a way to win. But we did, so we get credit for that. But the record we had this year in this league was, probably not supposed to happen. And if you're surprised, and so were we. We weren't sitting here thinking we were going to go 15-3 in this league. But it shows you what kind of group of kids we have. But we don't have the same team today we had a month ago. We don't have that same team. So we'll get some rest and see if we can't get some bodies healed up. There's probably some feelings got hurt today, but, today was a battle, and we lost it. The war is coming up. You're going to lose battles. Everybody in this league loses battles. But we're all refreshed, and we get to reset come Thursday or Friday, depending on the site that they send us to. But just really proud of this team. I think I feel better for Iowa State than I do for us. They play great today. Their fans, that was an Iowa State moment. That thing was set up for them. In Kansas City, what is this place seat? I don't even know. Anybody know that? What is it? Okay, so that means what? Is there 17,000 Iowa State fans today? That doesn't happen everywhere. Where was the Big Ten tournament? Where? I guarantee you there wasn't a team there that had 17,000 of their fans supporting a team. Where was the ACC tournament? Usually Greensboro. It's probably D.C. Why was it in D.C.? What's that geography? Who's closest to there? Boston College? I'd say Rutgers, but they're in the Big Ten, right? But this is unique. I think it says a lot about the Big 12, but more importantly, it says a lot about Iowa State's fan base. Their kids were unbelievably jacked. Yesterday felt like a fair fight with Texas Tech. Felt like a fair fight with TCU. The other games all felt like fair fights. Today didn't seem very fair. But again, that's all kudos to Iowa State's fans. They're always going to have a. Did I see somewhere where they were 5-0 in championship games? Well, correct that, will you? 6-0. There's a good chance it's going to be 7-0. Pretty good.
Let's go over here on the left.
Chancellor Johnson, KPRC2. I know you mentioned, obviously, that you're dealing with the injuries, but how proud are you of this team and what they've been able to do pretty much over this, not just this last month, but over the course of the season up to this point?
Yeah, I was telling someone, and I hate being repetitive, but I've said this a couple of times, that, we lost 4 really important starters off last year's team, Jarris Walker, Marcus Sasser, Tremont Mark, and Reggie Chaney. So we spent all summer trying to figure out who's going to fit what role. We were very fortunate to get LJ to transfer from Baylor and Damian transfer from Temple, but we decided to go with our young guys. JoJo Tugler, who I think Mansovich is and Jacoby Waters are 2 of the best freshmen, I think, in the country. But JoJo Tugler's right there with them. He's good. Losing him to a broken foot, obviously, is a blow. Jaywan, with his injury, is a blow. But even with all that, look what we accomplished. You're right, winning the Big 12. Nothing takes that away. I'm going to be really, when I think of this team years from now, when I'm sitting at my lake house, having one of my favorite beverages and just sitting there whiling the time away, and you guys are in here asking some poor schlep about a game he lost by 30, I'll be thinking about you. Hope you're thinking about me too. But I'll be thinking about this team. I won't think about this 40 minutes, but I will think about this year and the things that they accomplished. And so just really proud of them. It's hard to lose what we lost last year and have the kind of year we had this year. And ever how long it lasts, you just never know. I've seen, I didn't think 20 years ago, I would have never thought that a 16 could beat a 1. Now it's more likely than not to happen again. So you just never know. You got to hope for some good fortune and prepare your kids the best you can and hope you play good that night. And we'll do that our next game,
Okay,
the best of our ability.
We've got time for 2 more questions. First one will be on the front row, and then we're going to go over here to the right.
Kelvin, I think you just kind of addressed this a little bit, but just the setting tonight. I mean, these teams, any team may not see this until the Final Four, if then.
Never. I can't imagine. This reminds me of maybe when the ACC tournament was in Greensboro in North Carolina. I don't know what Greensboro sees, probably about the same, maybe 17, 18,000. Being in North Carolina at Greensboro is very difficult. That's why Coach Smith and Coach Williams and Hubert and those guys win so many of those ACC tournaments. I was in the Pac-10, LA. Nobody came to the games, no matter who was in it. Big Ten's not like that. I think this is the best conference tournament. Now, as a coach, you say, well, you'd like to have it here, like to have it there. But for our brand, for the Big 12, when people watch this game on TV, they saw one team that probably felt sorry for, but they saw an arena that was lit, and you saw the Big 12 brand, and that speaks to the job that Brett's doing, but also Iowa State and TJ and his staff and his kids and that fan base. It gives the Big 12 a good look, and if I did my part today to try to make the Big 12 look good, and Iowa State, but they're really good. We could have played well and had everybody healthy and probably couldn't have beat them today.
Okay, last question's here on the right.
Kelvin, what did you think that they did well against your ball screen coverage and just kind of their plan going into that?
Well, when we got the ball in the paint and it went out, I thought we got some good looks. LJ especially. I didn't think Jamal's looks were that good because they're on the first side. You can't play offensively against us. That's why we're good against a lot of teams. You have to play to the third side against good defensive teams, and for whatever reason, we just didn't have the patience to do that today.
Your coverage.
Yeah, I thought, it was fine. It was a 1-point, 2-point game there for a while, and then we went to our bench. And went to our bench, we struggled. And that's something we're just going to have to figure out who's going to be in the game with what players. We can't have 3 bench guys in at the same time right now. I mean, that's not good for us right now. I don't know if we'll play Thursday or Friday. I'm hoping Friday. We really need to spend a lot of time, playing 3 games in 3 days. It's probably not ideal for us because of our depth, but going back gives us something to really focus in on. That maybe we have to start substituting earlier. Get this guy in with the first group more, and then be really conscious of who's on the floor at what time with what groups. Because when we had the 3 bench guys, and that's when it got away from us a little bit toward the end. First half was fine. I mean, it's 30-23. LJ and Maul, Emmanuel. I mean, those guys aren't making shots. We're going to struggle anyway.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much.
Okay, guys.
Good luck to you next week.